What would happen if I used a portable UV printer to launch a new business venture? Design a product line, book a local market, pack everything up, including one fluffy and another not so fluffy friend, and set up shop. Will it be an instant success story, or will it end up being a tough learning experience? Well, that's exactly the experiment I decided to run, and today I'm going to show you all what it took, how to do it, what it cost me, and what kind of profits, if any, I ended up with. Now, if you're new here and you haven't seen my full review of the eufyMake E1, this is a compact UV printer that can print full-color, high-detail designs directly onto wood, metal, acrylic, pretty much anything flat or even round. In my other video, I tested it on all kinds of materials to see what all it could really do. So if you want to see the full range of what this machine is capable of, definitely check that one out when we finish things up here. When I first got this UV printer, the eufyMake E1, I was amazed how it could print full-color, high-resolution artwork straight onto pretty much anything. But for me, printing on wood really stuck out. The idea of this venture actually started when I made that royal pet portrait of my hairless cat, Norman. When I saw how good that print looked on wood, I started thinking, what if I turned this into a real product line? So I did some research. I checked out Etsy and saw that people were paying a surprising amount of money for pet portraits that were printed on just canvas. That's when the light bulb went off. If people were already buying those, what if I took it a step further and offered something that actually felt premium? Something with some weight to it, like wood. I found these panels on Amazon and they come out to just about $4 per panel. So with the right price, the margins could be great. These 12x16 wooden panels add that extra sense of quality. They feel more permanent, like something you'd want to display in your home, not just hang in a hallway. I thought, alright, this could be the foundation of a new little business. That's when the name Printed Paws came to me. It just fit perfectly. To create this image of King Norman, all I had to do was give ChatGPT an image of my cat and give it a prompt like this. Here is an image of my cat Norman. Can you make me a 16:9 portrait of him, as if he were in an old royalty portrait painting, like a king? Then all I had to do was bring the image over to the eufyMake Studio software, send it to the printer, and let it work its magic. And for transparency, I'll put the print time, ink cost, and anything else on the screen for us all to see. The royal pet portraits are a good starting point, but expanding the product line could attract even more customers. While I was brainstorming more ideas, I was emailed by one of you. A subscriber to my channel let me know that their wife's beloved cat had recently passed away. I was given a photo of their cat named Stardust, and then I took that image and prompted my software to create a memorial-like photo of Stardust. After a few iterations and going back and forth with Stardust's owners, we found an image that they both liked. Originally, they planned on paying me for the service, but I decided to let this one be a gift to them since they are already supporters of what I'm doing here on YouTube. I boxed up their print, and after they received it, they sent me a heartfelt email of thanks and a photo of their print with their other memorial items. I started creating lots of images, my own pets, family members' pets, or even just prompting up different popular breeds, and the prints looked incredible. The texture of the wood, the saturation from the UV inks, it was a premium product. So I built up inventory. I created signage. I even priced everything out. Lower than I ultimately hoped to get for them, but a fair price to get the business kickstarted. I think I have everything I need for my first local event. One big challenge I ran into was the printing time. Each 12x16 panel takes anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes to print, so trying to sell on the spot and expecting customers to wait around wasn't realistic. I needed to streamline my system. I still wanted to bring the printer and show it in action, but needed to be able to communicate later with customers to keep things stress-free and not feel rushed.
So I just got an alert. It says printing paused because I need to replace the ink. It's the first time this has ever happened to me, so let's go and see how this goes. It's the white that is out, so we're going to pop that out and put in a new one. Push the play. You want to restore printing? Yes. Okay, it just started back.
So instead of doing live prints at the market, I decided to set everything up online. I built an Etsy store for printed Paws where customers could place their orders after seeing the samples in person. I created separate listings for different product tiers, the simplest being direct photo prints on wood, and the higher priced options offering things like enhanced edits, background cleanup, or even full royalty pet portraits like I made of Norman. To make that process easy, I printed a big QR code right onto a wooden panel. That way, people at the market could just scan it, go straight to the Etsy shop, and start their order. They could upload photos, message me directly, and we could go back and forth through the messages until the design was ready to print. Once their design was finalized, I'd print it here in the shop, box it up, and ship it right to their door. It let me focus on quality instead of trying to rush prints in the middle of a busy event. One thing I wanted to test was portability. Could I pack up the E1 and take it somewhere without it breaking or getting ink on everything? This might not be the only way to transport it, but for me, it seemed like the safest way. I first initiated the shutdown sequence.
I held down the power button until it made a noise,
which purges the lines of ink and fills it with a proprietary cleaner. Then I removed each ink cartridge and placed them in separate Ziploc bags. I removed the cleaning cartridge, put it into a bag, and placed the rubber stoppers on the 3 ink cleaner lines. I then placed the machine back into its original box and used that for transportation. While I get set up at the market, let's go ahead and break down how much money I have invested into this experiment so far. Here's a breakdown of the total cost. The UV printer with a full set of ink is $2,300. The Anker SOLIX battery bank is $400, which will save the day here in a second. 30 wooden panels at $4 a piece for about $120. $20 for the black tablecloths, and then the cost for the vendor event was $40 to attend. So that makes my total investment $2,880. With my prints priced at $80, if we subtract the cost of materials, fees, and shipping expenses, we're looking at around $57 profit on each sale. That means to break even, I will need to sell about 51 prints. At this point, I was a little nervous. Now seeing everything laid out, 51 sales might be a little bit too ambitious for my first ever vendor event. But I pressed on. The event cost me $40 to attend. And at this point, I thought that was a bargain to put my new business in front of some customers. But the red flags started popping up fast. It wasn't advertised well, it wasn't on a busy road, and the weather was hot. We were expected to hit 91 degrees Fahrenheit today. And there were only about 10 other vendors that showed up. And here's another curveball. This vendor market doesn't have any power. No outlets, no extension cords, nothing. Which means if I wanted to run my UV printer, fans, and computer, I had to figure that out on my own. But thankfully, I was able to team up with Anker, the sponsor of this segment of today's video. Traditionally, most people bring loud gas-burning generators, which scare off most potential customers. That's where the Anker SOLIX C1000 comes in. This thing's a 1,024 watt-hour portable power station that can handle up to 2,000 watts of continuous power and even surge up to 3,000. Basically, it's a generator that doesn't make any noise or fumes. What's wild is I'm able to plug in the UV printer, my laptop, and fan, and it handled them all without breaking a sweat.
It is 11 o'clock now, we're 3 hours in and we're at 56%. We are running 1, 2 fans, the printer is running, and I have my little Dymo printer plugged up here too. And it's pulling 240 watts. So we should be able to run all this for about 6 hours total.
It recharges from 0 to full in under an hour using AC power.
It's saying it'll be charged in 1 hour. Not bad.
Or you can hook up solar panels and recharge it that way if you're fully off-grid. You can even plug it into your cigarette lighter in your car and charge it up that way too. For me, it was a perfect solution for this event. No noise, no hassle, and plenty of power to run everything for hours. And honestly, I use this thing all the time back home too. Anytime I'm working out in the yard or doing any woodworking projects outside of my shop. It can even handle my 10-inch table saw. With 10 different ports and built-in UPS protection, it's one of the tools that you don't realize you need until the power's out. Or you're like me and you're trying to sell pet portraits in the middle of a vendor event that didn't provide any electrical outlets. So yeah, the Anker SOLIX C1000 saved the day here. Without it, I'd basically just be sitting here with a bunch of wooden panels and no way to print on them. If you're interested in checking one out for yourself, I'll have all the links in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Now, I didn't come alone. I brought my secret weapons. Norman, our hairless cat, and Winston, our Eufy poo. And honestly, they were the stars of the entire event. Everyone who showed up made a beeline for these animals. They'd pet them, laugh, ask questions. People genuinely loved the concept.
And you can run them faster than this too. I'm doing 4 layers of white ink on the bottom and then color on top, so it goes a little bit slower when you do it like that. If you want more of the wood, you can just do 1 layer and 1 layer, and it comes out in about 18 minutes. That's a portrait of Norman, so you're starting to see his face popping out right there.
Do you take existing photos and redo them?
Yeah, so people will send me just a photo of their pet, and I can either print as is, like the photo is, or I have software where I can kind of manipulate the photo and kind of do different things. Like this photo doesn't actually exist; it's just a photo of the dog, and I can type in some prompts to get it to get to something like that.
And they loved the product. We had interest. We had engagement. What we didn't have was enough people. Throughout the entire day, maybe 20 people came through. So if you do the math, I basically paid $2 per person at this event. All of us vendors talked about it, and we all definitely felt like this event was a flop. But still, you'd think with interest, great feedback, and the cutest marketing team, we'd walk away with at least a few sales, right? Yeah, we sold absolutely nothing. Not one panel, not one order, not even a deposit. Best we got was some took some business cards. And I checked the online traffic to Etsy, and we did get 28 visitors online the day of the event. So I guess there's that. I'm not even mad about the product. I still think it's solid. I think the pricing is right. The interest was real. The problem wasn't the idea, it was the event. You can't sell to people who aren't there. And with the Etsy store being brand new and having 0 reviews, it's not a good look either. I'm not done with printed paws just yet. I have a few variables I'd like to change. And if you have any recommendations, leave me a comment so I can give them a shot also. And hopefully we can return to this with a whole new perspective. Here's what I'm gonna do. Number 1, go to a larger event. Maybe even one that is focused on pet owners specifically. 2, I know this is kind of lame, but I've got to get that first sale and review to build trust. So I'm going to create a 100% off promo code and have a friend or family member get a free print in return for an online review. And 3, activating Etsy ads. I'll devote $25 a day on Etsy and see what that can do for me. Hopefully this can kickstart the online sales and get some return on this investment. So yeah, $2,880 in the hole with 0 sales. Is it still worth it? I learned a lot, and I know that there is a market for this product. I just gotta build my reputation and get in front of the right crowd. I may have been let down by the event, but one thing that didn't disappoint was the printer. The eufyMake E1 actually crushed it out here. I had 0 issues with ink spillage during transport, and I was able to keep it running all day. I even tested the offline mode, and I was happy to see that that worked out great too. It was over 90 degrees that day, and somehow this little printer just kept going. No overheating, no errors, it just printed non-stop. And even after bringing it home, I ran a test print, and it was still working exactly like it should. For a portable UV printer, that's honestly impressive. If you want to see attempt number 2, or if you've ever launched something that flopped before it flew, drop a comment and be sure you're subscribed and tap that notification bell so you don't miss what's to come next. If you're interested in checking out any of the products I used in this video, I'll have them all listed in the video description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Until then, I'm Chad from Chad's Custom Creations. Be encouraged, stay inspired, and keep on creating.